Here we are.
Here we are. Welcome to Two Single Moms and a Donor Daddy. Hi, lovely. I'm Dr. Ambra Brown.
And I'm Tesh Alvaro. Welcome to Two Single Mums and a Donor Daddy,
where two complete strangers are connected by choosing the same donor daddy. And now we're having real conversations about the journey to solo motherhood by choice.
And how to prepare for it mentally, physically, emotionally, and even intuitively, while creating the path to motherhood on your terms.
Hello, hello.
How are you, my love? I'm sorry if my internet is lagging. I can see that my video is a bit slow, so I hope I'm coming through clear. We're currently having some thunderstorms, so it unfortunately does affect the internet. So fingers crossed we do okay this morning. How are you?
I am hanging in there. It's been interesting past 4 weeks.
Wow.
4 weeks. And I was just telling Tesh I had a lot to say today to get some things off my chest. And I wanted to just let you all know, like, what things can happen when you are facing a situation where you know it's coming, but you don't know it's coming like right away, and being a challenge if you are a single mom by choice. And I wanted to dive into that. And I just want to say thanks, Tesh, for letting me have this moment today, because I think it's really important to share what can happen in circumstances and how you can handle it. And sometimes you can't handle it.
And that's okay.
So,
absolutely. Please share with us what has been going on for you over the past 4 weeks.
Absolutely. So I first just want to say this, and then I'll get into like what's going on. So I think, and maybe I mentioned this in a past episode, I know I've mentioned it on my Instagram feed as well as on my YouTube channel, but one of the reasons that I had made a decision to become a single mom by choice is because the thought of like my parents getting older and not being able to have the experience of like playing with my child, that be not able to just do the things that grandparents would do, like watching them, because it might be too much for them, because you know how children are, they're movers and shakers, you know what I mean? And I didn't want to continue to wait long, because at the time, like I was in my mid-30s and my parents were like in their mid to late 60s. And I just thought, I don't know if I can hang on much longer and expect my parents to be like spring chickens, you know? And so that was one of the many reasons why I did push forward to becoming a single mom by choice. And with that being said, this kind of leads to like what's been going on this past 4 weeks. And I won't get into too much detail because I think some stuff is personal. But I will say that unfortunately there was a situation that happened about 4 weeks ago where my mom was sent to the ER where we live, and it turned out that the hospital where we reside could not handle the situation that was happening with her. And so they had to like send a helicopter to go to the main hospital in the city that we live in. So I live in the suburbs. And so within the city is where they have more hospitals and more trained and specialized in this particular situation that my mom was going through. And so they sent her there where she was in critical care. And so that really just sent like the whole tailspin of like life changing, because my mom is our hub of our family. She is our hub. And she also like really plays a huge role in taking care of my dad. And my dad has some medical issues. He's been having some issues for a while. I will say that with my dad, he had a stroke about 3 years ago. So he hasn't been quite the same. It wasn't like a major stroke, but it definitely affected him in a way that required a little more attention. And then he also has, if you're not familiar, you all can look this up, but he's had vertigo pretty much ever since he has gotten out of the military. But I think with the stroke, I think the vertigo has been more complicated. And so basically what that means is that you're constantly dizzy all the time. And then there's certain movements or certain situations that could increase it, causing like you can't even get up from your bed because it's just so bad and it makes you very ill for however long it takes. But with that being said, my mom was there to kind of take care of him, and like the dynamics of them growing up in a certain era, my mom was pretty much everything. Like the dad would come home and he would work and then come home, and that was like his contribution, like come home and financially take care of like everything. But my mom was everything else, including her working. So like now that my mom was in the hospital, it's like that kind of fell on me to like take care of not only myself and my son, but also take care of my dad and him going through that, which something that I was not prepared for. And all that came with it. Like my mom cooks pretty good meals, hefty meals for my dad. And I can cook, but I'm not like my mom. I'm not like hefty meal. I just kind of like, actually, I meant do. We just do. We eat, but it's not like the meals that my mom would cook for my dad. And so having to like juggle cooking certain meals that are gonna like be okay with my dad, and also dealing with taking care of my mom and seeing her in the hospital, and also figuring out, how to make sure my son gets to school, how to figure out my job, and also take care of the household has been very rough. And it's just been a huge undertaking that has really, and I didn't even have a real time to really just process it all. It was just like hitting the ground running and like just trying to do. And there's other things that are happening with my dad that require me to reach out to the VA and figure out how to get some help, because it's sometimes more than I can do, because I do have to still work to financially meet needs. So there's days where my dad is alone, and he doesn't need to be alone, let's put it that way, all the time due to just cognition issues. So thinking ability, because he is older now in their mid to late 70s, my parents. And so there's just changes based on just their age, but also, again, my dad with the stroke and vertigo and just some other mental issues for getting older. And so it's just everything at once has been a challenge. And God bless. I know, my parents are really heavily in the church, and they've been that way for a long time. And I love that. And I love that people at church are reaching out. But I also feel like, when people reach out and say, well, how's your mom doing? Let me know how she's doing, and wanting updates all the time. And I'm like, I was very angry at one point, because I'm like, I don't have time to update you on how my mom is doing. And it's not just like one person. It was like multiple people from church, you know what I mean? And from mom and dad attend two different churches. One is like their home church that they go to twice in a month. And then there's another church that they attend. So the one that they go to is in our suburb. And then there's another one that's in the city. And they just alternate to two churches. Imagine two churches and the members reaching out to me when in the midst of all the other things that are happening. And I was just like, I'm tired of being responsible for reaching out to you. Like, I became angry. I'm like, I know you all mean well and you want to be a part and know what's going on and send your love, but I am doing everything and I don't want to be responsible for you. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So I just told the pastors, listen, I can't be that point two person where every member's reaching out to me. So as the pastor, you're going to have to I'll give you the information and you disseminate the information. I can't do this. I have my own crap to worry about, and I don't have time to worry about updating you. So that was a big issue too. Although, again, I know that the church members are concerned and want to be there, but it was not helpful to me at that time because it was other burdens I had to put on me. And so that's just been going on now. My mom now has been released from critical care, and she's now in a rehab facility, which is a whole nother adjustment happening. And so making sure that she's taken care of there, I had to find a place that was nearby so that we can easily have access to her, but also making sure that she's well taken care of and that information is being disseminated to the staff there. Not to mention my nephew, which is her first grandchild, got married last weekend. And this is the first grandchild of the family that's gotten married. And so we had all been planning all to go for a very long time. And so the fact that she had to miss that last week was also hard and devastating for all the family, because we just didn't see that coming. So having her miss that and making sure that she's okay mentally as well to deal with that. And then now, like, another holiday's coming up where she's going to be missing that holiday with the family. So making sure that she is taken care of and loved and doing things for her so she won't feel left out of what's happening, you know? So it's just trying to figure all that out while still managing to be a mom to my son and doing all the things that needs to be taken care of. And so it's been very challenging, and I'm starting just now to process like what's going on. And honestly, like, I'm pretty proud of myself about how I'm handling things. And I'll say, like, the past few days, I've really had the chance to kind of sit with some of the stuff and really just think about how amazing I am and how amazing, yes, I did not want this at all. Like, nothing, like, things happen, and I don't wish it on anybody, but we all go through things. But I feel like this was a whole nother way to evolve me and stretch me and be in a path that I probably maybe needed to be on to get to where I need to be, or bring something out of me that maybe I've been praying about and this somehow needed to be this way. And so I'm just kind of filtering that out and really being like, oh my God, like, you know, I am stronger than I am, or I've had this, it's always been there, but maybe now it's just pushed into the forefront. So I'm trying to learn more about who I am since this occurred. And so I felt like that's been a journey to try to like figure that all out, but also be proud of myself at the same time. So that's a lot of things that's been going on in a small nutshell, but never foreseeing that, yeah, I knew like one day my parents might be in a certain situation where they're just not, they need extra help. But I am grateful to say that, like, looking back now, I'm so grateful that I had made the decision to have my child at the time that I did, because now looking at the situation, I don't know if they would be able to be there for my son or be there for me and support me and my son to grow and be in my family's presence at this current state that they're in. You know what I mean? And so I'm able to look back and be like, oh my God, I'm so grateful that I made this decision. And yes, like, this new chapter is kind of hard, trying to balance everything and still be a single mom, but I am very grateful for the decision that I made 11 years ago. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what's been going on in these past 4 weeks.
That's a lot. Yeah. And nothing prepares you. And like you were saying, you knew something was coming, but you just didn't know how it was going to unfold.
Yeah.
And that's life. That is life. There's going to be times, like, as I always say, life is going to throw us curveballs. And it's not about being perfect with it when it happens. Like, it's not always love and light. And I've got this, like, oh, this is a piece of cake. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. And especially as a single mum by choice, we don't have a partner to fall back on to support us as we're navigating this with our immediate family as well. And my parents are in their 70s as well. So it's now navigating that and seeing their health challenges changing over the past years as well. It's just like, okay, it's adapting and it's learning to adapt. But it's also being with yourself and go, okay, I'm allowed to fall apart right now because all of this is a lot. And it's okay to sit there and feel what's coming up for you and process how you need to process it. And at the same time, you're like, wow, I'm actually getting through this at the same time. Like, it's coming together. And I think you should be really proud of yourself with navigating that as best as possible as well. Like, it's really important. And I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
I am too. I'm proud of myself, like, just sitting down and really just thinking about it. But I will say to you, like, you've said this before, but I literally had to like put down a lot of things that I was doing, you know, just things that brought me like passion to do, like just with my Single Mom by Choice coaching business, that had to be put on the wayside because that wasn't something that should be in the forefront. It was my family. And I kind of felt a little guilty at first, but then I was like, it's going to be fine. No matter what, it's going to be fine. But just giving myself permission to be okay. Like, there's just going to be things that are just going to have to be dropped for right now. And it's going to just have to be okay. Even if it's laundry that has to be done later, or if it has to be certain activities that you're used to doing and you just can't do it right now, it's okay. And just allowing yourself to just kind of realize that you can get back to those things. But right now, your family does need you, and you're just going to have to like step up and just do the best that you can in the meantime. And so it was just easier to kind of let those things go after I kind of was like, okay, it's going to be fine. You're going to come back to those, whatever it may be, you know what I mean? And so, and I think that you were just like, it's okay, it's fine, like whatever you need, like it's going to be there. That's also helpful too.
Well, that's a thing. And I think it's really important that we have to understand that. And like you said, it's not that we're putting it aside forever. It's just right now our priorities have shifted. And that's something that we need to focus on. So it's not that with our businesses that we've lost sight of it. It's just like, I have to put that on hold right now because right now my parents need me. My family needs me. And because also it's the capacity that we're at as well. It's just like if you're trying to put in a certain amount of capacity within your business, and then with our 9-to-5 job, and then our child, and then our parents, it's going to get to the point that our whole system will shut down. It'll get so overwhelmed that you don't know what to do, and then everything stops. And it gets to a point where you just like, I can't do anything. And that's when people can end up quitting certain things, like what they're passionate about. And so it's just like, this is what I need to prioritize right now. I'm going to put that on hold, but I'm going to come back to it later when I know I have the capacity to do so. And your body is going to let you know, and your body is also going to allow you to process it. And sometimes if it's just sitting there on the floor and crying, because crying, it's not a sign of weakness. It's not a sign of that you're incapable. It's actually your body regulating. That is one of the regulations our system does. And it also regulates our cortisol level, the stress levels in our body. And on a scientific note, with the tears that flow, it actually has toxins in them, and it's releasing those toxins from our body as well. So I don't know if you've ever had a really good cry, and I did it the other morning, and you just feel this wave of relief afterwards. Like it was just like, oh, I actually feel better for it now. Right? Yeah. And that's okay. It's because we're so connected to our emotions, we're connected to our body and what's coming up for us. It's our body saying, hey, we need to release this right now. And the way we're going to release it is through crying. And you're like, okay, great, let's do that. So good on you for being able to sit with what's been coming up for you, processing it and allowing yourself to be with it. And I think this is something that's really important for our audience to understand as well, is please, it's never about getting it perfect. It's not always showing up and that you're happy and you've got it all together and nothing's affecting you. That's a load of BS, because not everything is about love and light. We've got to work with our shadow parts as well, the dark parts of us, and it's not that they're bad. It's just like we need to sit with those parts of us as well. That's what makes us human.
Yeah.
And I think that's just so important.
I want to pause for just a moment, because if any part of this conversation is resonating with you, I want you to know you're not alone. I'm currently building a mini course called Ready from Within, designed to help women slow down, reflect, and reconnect with themselves as they consider or even navigate solo motherhood. This isn't about rushing a decision. It's about building a strong inner foundation so you can trust yourself through the good, the hard, and everything in between. I've opened up a waitlist so you can be the first to know when it's ready. The link is in the show notes. I also will be honest and realistic, and I also will put this out there too. I'll say two things. The first thing is becoming a single mom by choice coach is because of the experiences that I had, and I felt like alone in the process. And I knew through what I felt that for you guys, like I never really want you all to feel like you all are alone in this process. But I also still like go through trials myself. I feel like for this particular situation, I am, again, not crazy or ecstatic that I went through this, but I know that like if something was to happen, like one of my clients or future clients who's going through something similar, that now I know that I can be in the position to help that client through their situation, at least talk them through, or even say like, hey, like giving them the advice that like, that I went through, and just also saying like, it's not going to be perfect, but this is what I did, and how you can choose to do these certain things, but just kind of having that connection and being able to, again, let you all know that I'm here and I've been through this so that you don't feel alone in this experience. So that's something that I feel like it's going to be helpful, because we're all going through trials and different journeys like each day and gaining experiences. And so like this experience that I've had, I'm able to kind of now be able to share that with you all if some reason that happens that you happen to go through that or something similar. But I will say and be honest too, that like the past few days, well, actually I say really just hit me the past few days, but like even just last week, I started to kind of now like be able to breathe, to actually do the tools that I would teach my client, and also the things that like Tesh would share, you know what I mean, to help regulate. And so for those first 3 weeks, I didn't even have the capacity to even do that, because there just was no room for me to even do that. I just didn't have anything. It was just, I was on like the switch of like survival mode and just going and doing. But what I will say that helped me, which I am a big proponent of music, and I think music is such a healing experience. I love it. It speaks to me in so many ways. And so what I did that got me through the harder times these past, like the first 3 weeks, was they were like this amazing music that was very uplifting and affirmative music. And I would play that like day in and day out. And I think that also helped me to feel like I'm going to be okay. And it got me through the times of feeling like, even in the midst of all the craziness, I had a moment of joy and feel good. And just those moments, I felt like it's going to be okay. And just reassurance. And I would play that like on my way to work, on my way to see my mom, on my way to go pick up my son. I mean, it was constantly on, and it just helped me. And then I think like this last week, and then just recently, these past 2 days, I'm able to like now sit down and like journal it out, which, I'm also a big fan of like journaling. I feel like it releases so much, and it helps you to really think about things and process things. And so these past few weeks, I've been able to journal it out and really like sit back and look about all the things that has happened. And again, be like, damn, I did this. Really sit back and be like, oh, this is so amazing. Like, I cannot believe that this has happened. And now look how I've handled it. And I'm like that badass woman who has done this, who has, and is still doing this, you know what I mean? And holding it down for like myself, my mom and my dad, and like my son, like just being able to really sit in that and really think about it. And I'm like, wow. And I'm like, I shut off the old me, that old me like 4 weeks ago, and now I'm a new person. And it's amazing. So now I know that I can handle that again, if it was to happen or something similar, and do it as a single mom by choice. And so to say that for anybody who's listening to this, or who's listening or whatever, that it's okay if you can even like do any tools to help you. And maybe even find one thing to like help you. Like if it's music, just play that music. It's okay. But at some point, when you're able to like really breathe, take a moment to use whatever you can to help regulate yourself, and really sit back and be kind to yourself and motivate yourself, be loving to yourself, give yourself space. And that's going to really help you to navigate what's happening on your journey or whatever you're going through. I think that's really important. So I think I've learned that in these past 4 weeks too.
Yeah, that's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And it's not until you're in situations like these that you go, wow, I didn't realize how capable I actually am. And you just do the pat on the back. You're like, oh my God, I actually got through that. And you end up surprising yourself. And that's something to celebrate as well. And like we were saying, it's okay if you fall apart too. It's okay if you sit on the floor and you're kind of feeling numb and you don't know how to process it. That's okay. What I encourage is don't stay in it, right?
Yeah.
Feel what's there for you that is completely and utterly important to do. Feel what's there for you, move through it, what feels safe and what feels nourishing for your body. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Even when you're journaling, it doesn't even have to make sense. I was taught by a coach once what was called rage on a page, and it doesn't even have to be words. You can just scribble, right? But it's transferring that energy out of your body, because sometimes we don't even have the capacity to think of what we need to do in those circumstances, and that's okay. So as you were saying, even playing music, but just music that you feel is right for you in that moment to move that energy in your body. And if you're feeling rage within your body, that's very normal. Do not suppress it by any means. I've screamed into pillows. I've sat on my bed and punched my pillows, anything like that to just move it. But yeah, journaling is amazing. Rage on a page is amazing. Moving, music, anything to help just try and crying, screaming into a pillow, all those sorts of things really does have benefits. But also be okay with being on the floor and just sobbing and just holding yourself in that space. Just, it's okay. I've had times throughout these 11 and a half years of being a single mum by choice where my back's been against the wall. And one scenario was when Zenon was a toddler and he had 40-degree temperature. My parents weren't in town. My siblings weren't. I was alone. I was by myself, and at nighttime, I'm having to go to the emergency doctors to get prescription medication for my child while he's vomiting on me with these high temperatures, and I had to do it all on my own. And it was in those moments where I'm like, okay, well, I've got two choices. I can sit here and completely fall apart and go, woe is me, or I just have to show up and deal with it head on. And that's exactly what I did. And the entire time I stayed calm. So my son would feel my calmness, even though, yes, I was frightened that he had these 40-degree temperatures and he was throwing up. But I was like, me losing my shit right now in front of my child is not going to change the situation. And I got through it. And it's like those moments, he's in the bath, I'm putting cold water, cooling him down, giving him his medication to drop his temperature. And I'm sitting on the floor in the bathroom next to him with tears in my eyes. And I'm like, same sort of thing. I'm like, okay, I did it. We did this. We're okay, right? We're okay. Another time my son had gastro and we were driving, and it was when I was living back in Canberra. We were driving from Queensland to Canberra, and what should have taken 12 hours ended up taking 16 because he was vomiting the whole time again. And I was driving home with a sick child. I was just like, you surprise yourself in some of the hardest challenges. You really do surprise yourself. So yeah, it's in these moments that I go, I'm so glad I made the decision to become a single mum by choice, because I knew that that's what I wanted. That part of me down deep that just wanted to be a mother. And even though I had no idea the journey was going to even look like, I knew that I wanted it. And I remember my mum saying to me, do you know what you're in for? And I was like, nope, I don't. I don't know what I'm in for, but yeah, neither did you when you had 3 children, right?
Yeah.
None of us know. None of us know what it's going to look like for us. And I wouldn't change it, would not change it for anything. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. And like I said, one of the reasons why I made the decision, I don't regret that. I'm very grateful that I did. And I think I couldn't imagine because like my mom now has some issues like this similar, but this was a little more complicated. Well, that's not true. There's a lot of things that's happened. But even now more like my mom is like easily worn out. It doesn't take long for her to get tired. And so I couldn't imagine like if my son was like 5 and she was trying to watch, there's no way like she could.
100%. Yeah.
There's no way that she could do it. You know, now my son's 10 and he can, not that he can take care of by himself, but he can do a lot of things on his own where she doesn't have to like worry too much. You know what I mean? If she were to say like watch him or something like that. But I'm just grateful of the decision I made and not knowing like when this would happen. But I'm just grateful that, again, I made this decision and just thinking about that, like, Ambra, you were smart for that.
Right.
Like, wow, like, good on you. Like, you know, so.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm a smart lady.
I am. Like, wow. But yeah, all to say is that as a single mom by choice, and as anybody really, but you never know what you're going to be faced with. But just know that you're going to make it. You're going to make it. It might be challenging, but know that this will pass and you will get through it. And to simply, when you're able to really utilize the things that we have shared with you to really help you navigate that times or any time really, but just really when it's rough and, you know, and it's just more challenging than you expected to really utilize these things to help you get through. And also, if you're able, you know, having your community that, you know, we talk about building for you, having that community, having those friends, having like family members, if possible, or anybody that you have grown close to who can help you during this time too, is even more important as well.
And I think that's beautiful. And, you know, I want to touch on what you were saying in regards to your parents' church community who were reaching out, and you knew deep down, it's like, I don't have the capacity to keep you updated. And the beautiful thing is that you reached out to the pastor and you're like, I know that everyone means well and, you know, sends their love, and you love that. And it's not discounting that at all, but it's like right now, I don't have the capacity to keep you updated. And this is a learning that as well, there's going to be times where you need to delegate out to your community as well.
Absolutely.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. And this is why creating that beautiful community around you, that network, whether it's close family, close friends, extended community, that you have them there, they understand and they can support you, and you're at a place where you can go, right now, I'm at capacity. So I can't give you, even though you're wanting to help me or send support, send love, I can't give that to you right now. And they will be at a place they're like, okay, no problems. That's fine. And it's very normal and it's very natural. And that's why we are here to support you through your journey. Absolutely. We can go from our own personal experience with our immediate family, our extended family, and our supportive network. And sometimes you have to have those hard conversations to just let them know that right now I'm at capacity, and you will find who will show up for you.
Ooh, yes.
It will surprise you. It really will surprise you who will show up for you when you truly need it yourself.
Right.
Yeah? So
for sure.
Just remember that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Tap on one more thing that kind of ties into what you're saying and what I did, but like, we talk about this, but I definitely hone in on this when I do my one-on-one coaching program, but talking about having boundaries for yourself, but boundaries for the people around you. And like, I got to a point where I had that boundary of like, okay, you said before, like, I cannot do this for you. Like that's like a full stop. No, I was trying, but I was like, I cannot carry your responsibility. I appreciate it, but I cannot do that. And so in the midst of that feeling overwhelmed, I had that well enough thinking capacity to be like, okay, I have to set a boundary here. And so I think it's really important that we talk about, we set those up ahead of time, if possible, to know what your boundaries are, to know what feels good for you, to know what doesn't feel good, and setting those and letting people know this is how I feel, this is what I won't do or will do. And that's for anything. And don't feel guilty about it, because this is about you and what you need and your space, because people will be out there to make you feel bad, but that's their problem, not a you problem. So really, I think it's important. And I'm just glad that I was able to be like, no, I know that you all are really mean well, but I cannot handle this. And so I'm saying full stop, no, letting someone else handle that until I can be able to get back to you on doing so.
Absolutely.
And that was helpful.
Yeah. And I agree with you. Boundaries are so important. And if you are a people pleaser, like I used to be, recovered people pleaser here.
Yep.
And what I've learned over the years, and especially through breath work as well, is when you become really in tune with your body and the sensations in your body, when you're saying yes to someone, when deep down you really want to say no, you feel it in your body, and you will know exactly where you feel it. And so sometimes when you're creating boundaries, they are really difficult, because you've also got to set boundaries with yourself. Where are you crossing the line of your own boundaries for yourself? Where are you letting yourself down? Because when you get in tune with that, you'll then pick up, hang on, then I've got loose boundaries around family members, friends, and then community. So once you start practicing with yourself first, start saying no to something for yourself that you know that is a weak boundary for you, and start practicing that way. And I found it super hard, especially when it was then leading into my parents especially. And I don't think they really understood or quite conscious of it, but they had a way of saying things that made you feel guilty because you're my child, whether you're an adult or whatever. It's like, so you should always say yes to me, right? It was that concept. And so when that started to play out, I was like, well, no, actually, I can say no. And it took time. But yes, it's a practice. And that's what I want to reiterate. It's practice. It's never about getting it perfect. So please take that responsibility off your shoulders, because perfection is an absolute illusion. And we're not about getting it perfect. We're about failing forward, moving in a way that you're like, oh, okay, I did it this time. And that felt pretty good, right? So it's all about that. So be kind to yourself and just keep practicing, because that's what I keep doing. I've been doing it for a long time. We don't always get it right, and that's okay. That's okay. Like you were saying, it's like you were at a capacity where you couldn't even put the tools in place because you just weren't there. And that's perfectly fine, because once you get through what you need to get through, you're like, okay, now I can fall back and use these tools to get me to this place. And I do that with myself as well, where my days are quite full and I'm not able to do any breath practices until I'm actually in bed and I'm starting to fall asleep. And I'm like, all right, I'll do 20, 30 minutes here. But at least I have an opportunity to get it in. And even if I'm falling asleep whilst I'm doing it, right? But it's like, it's okay. You will get it in, and you will get to a point where you start to go, no, I need to fill up my cup right now, even if it's a couple of minutes. It doesn't need to be an hour, 2 hours. You don't need to go to the Himalayas to go and do meditation or breath work, or be yourself in the most perfect surroundings to come to a place of inner balance. It's like you can do it in the most chaotic of places, right? Even if it's just placing your hand on your heart space and breathing in there slowly, and just keep telling yourself, I've got this. I've got this. I'm moving forward. I'm safe. I'm alive. I'm okay. I've got this, right? Just little things throughout your day. Just when you have that moment and you're like, just going to be with myself for 30 seconds, right? I've got this.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Do you have anything else you want to add, or is that all?
Look, I think we've covered a great deal, and I just want to say thank you again for sharing with what has been there for you over this past month. It's a lot. And I just want to honor you for even still taking the time and showing up for this recording too. So I'm very proud.
Me too. No, me too. I'm very happy that I was able to do this. Honestly, like, I know like this is for our listeners, but this is also for me too, because this is a healing and experience for me. And I enjoy talking to you all. I enjoy talking to you, Tesh. And this is my happy place too. So to be able to do this today, talk to you guys today, and be able to release what I've been holding for a little while is very therapeutic for me too. So believe it or not, this helps me as well as you guys. So I appreciate it very much.
And I think that this is what myself and Ambra has wanted to bring forward as well, is like to share our truths, to share our journey and what's real. Not just when we started our journey of becoming a single mum by choice, but what's coming up for us right now as well. So you have an understanding too. And it means the world to us that you're here, you're listening, and hopefully we're making a difference in your lives as well. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And so with that, we do encourage you to please, if you have any thoughts or questions, or just say you're doing a great job, comment in the comment section below, or you can honestly like email us. The email link is down below, or you can individually send us a message through, if you want to do our Instagram, you can DM us that way, or any way you want to reach us. It's all down below in the show notes. And yeah, we have an actual YouTube channel as well, and you can see us. So go on in there and you can like subscribe and share with everybody, because we really want to let everybody know that what we have here is very valuable. We want to share it with you guys. And the more that we can have to see that, you know, and share, the more that we feel like we're really helping the community. And it just brings us so much joy. And we hope that you are receiving that as well. So just check us out wherever you can. And I think that's all.
Yeah, that's everything. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.